Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome WSWA President and CEO, Michelle Korsmo.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I hope you all had a great time at the opening night reception yesterday and that you are as excited as I am for the next 2 days, which will be packed with opportunity, information, and of course, a little fun. Each year, we work to get bigger and better and to offer more to our wholesaler and exhibitor partners. To keep up with the details and make the most of your time here, I encourage you to download the convention mobile app, where you will find the schedule of events, floor plans, a list of exhibitors and lower-level suites, and sponsor information. Speaking of sponsors, I'd like to thank the many companies who support the convention. You saw their brands on the video loop as you entered the ballroom, and take a look at the signage and screens throughout the convention venue to see the companies who helped make this possible. I'd also like to thank our sponsors and industry partners for their support. The American Distilled Spirits Association, the Distilled Spirits Council of the United States, and Responsibility.org, the Tasting Panel Magazine, Somm Journal, and Brand Muscle. And of course, special recognition to our wholesaler members here in Florida, Breakthrough Beverage, Republic National Distributing Company, and Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits. These WSWA members worked with all of you to bring the many thousands of cases of product for this year's convention. Their teams do an exceptional job, and we are grateful for their support. To kick things off this morning, we're going to hear from our newly elected chairman of the Wine and Spirits Wholesalers of America, Sid Ross. When I was interviewing for the position of president and CEO at WSWA, Sid Ross was one of the first people I met. Right away, I was impressed by his business acumen and the passion he has for the beverage alcohol industry. After I accepted this role, Sid continued to impress me with his knowledge, and even more so with his willingness to help educate me on the beverage alcohol industry and the importance of the three-tier system. Sid is co-CEO of Great Lakes Wine and Spirits based in Highland Park, Michigan, a business he started in his 20s and has grown into a successful and respected distributor all across the state. But it's his story, and probably best told by him. So, without further ado, join me in welcoming to the stage WSWA Chairman Sid Ross.
Tradition!
Good morning to all of you, and thank you, Michelle, for that kind introduction. I'll admit, it took me a minute to figure out who you were talking about. I'm so glad to have you as our WSWA president. The future of wine and spirits in America is going through interesting and exciting changes. In fact, we've had some changes right here at WSWA. Thank you, Barclay Stewart, for leading us so well over the last year. When Craig Wolf announced he was leaving WSWA, Barclay and Carmen Martinetti quickly put together a search team, which I was honored to be part of, and that process culminated in an excellent outcome. It's guys like Barclay and Carmen that I admire and appreciate for how they've served. Additionally, I would not have found my way here without the prodding of Craig Wolf, that I had a responsibility to the industry to join the executive committee and move up through the chairs. It also took the mentoring of people like Jay Davis, Ed Nemo, Rocky Wirtz, Vern Underwood, Bobby Epstein, the Chaplin family, Mel Dick, and the late Shelley Margolis, who gave me advice, let me make mistakes, but never fatal, and let me believe that I could make something of myself in this industry. I come to this role in a way that is unlike many before me. I wasn't the next in line to take over the family business. My story is a little bit different, but then those of you who know me, so am I. After leaving high school and attempting college, I heeded the words of my college advisors after being summoned multiple times for multiple infractions. Sydney, college is not for everyone. I had just met Elizabeth and knew immediately that I wanted to be with her forever, which meant I had to quit screwing around and get a job. Believe it or not, I've always had pretty good verbal skills. I applied to several companies that I knew had great, excellent training. The Gallo Winery hired me at the ripe age of 22. They placed me in the local Gallo House, the J. Lewis Cooper Company. It was with this multi-generational family business that I was given the opportunity to grow from a salesman carrying the traditional bag and duster to a district manager of a small sales team, and then to a sales manager over a division with chain headquarter call responsibilities. At 26, I left the company, or more appropriately, I was asked to leave. So, it sounds like my college experience, huh? I went to work for the Mogan David Wine Company as a state manager. Part of my job was to call on the local Mogan David distributors. It was there that I met and befriended the owners of a 3-truck operation, General Wine and Liquor Company. The planets aligned, and with absolutely no business experience other than sales, against my family's advice, I convinced my wife, who had found out she was pregnant and had quit her day job, that we should sell our house and use the money to buy General Wine. Made a lot of sense. At the age of 28, our adventure began. From my office roof caving in because I didn't shovel off the snow the first year, to a frozen dead guy in the front of the building holding a bottle of Wild Irish Rose, my product, to 24% interest rates on our bank loans, I plowed forward, being too dumb to know what I couldn't do. In the early 80s, the state of Michigan, a control state, decided to release high-proof wines to wholesalers. The gem was Wild Irish Rose, 20%. I already had the low-proof, 14%, and was doing a very good job of selling and distributing all of Canandaigua Wine's products. At stake was over 70,000 cases, which was more than all my other sales combined. I flew to New York to make a pitch to Marvin Sands, the owner of Canandaigua Wine Company, now Constellation, in the hopes that I could convince him to give me that business in Michigan. So did every other wholesaler in the state, including my old company, the J. Lewis Cooper Company. My presentation was terrible. Mr. Sands and I both knew it, but he saw something in me and he told me to go home and come back the next week and present again. I don't give up, I don't quit, and I don't lose. I came back the next week and I got it. Not long after, the state of Michigan exited the warehousing and delivery of spirits. Using my silver tongue, I convinced suppliers like Brown-Forman, Heaven Hill, and others to go with me, and I tripled my cases. I put together a rudimentary material handling system for the additional cases, leased a bunch of trucks, and hired over 100 people, all in 12 weeks. That's another story. Finally, in 2007, after watching wholesaler consolidation happen all over the country, I approached my largest competitor and convinced them that survival meant merging our family businesses. They agreed and we did. That other family was the J. Lewis Cooper family, and that company was the J. Lewis Cooper Wine Company. That very same company that I started as a salesman in the early 1970s, I was now one of the owners, an equal partner. It was a dream come true. I tell you that story to inspire you, to tell you that we are all part of one of the greatest businesses in the world. My story's not about me. It's about the possibilities and opportunities. When I look around at the changes in the industry since the days when I first started, I see great opportunity. There are more wineries, more distilleries, more brands, more point of purchase, both on and off premise, and more people enjoying our product. In the 40+ years that I've been fortunate enough to be associated with this great business, there have been changes. The acquisition of information and logistics has changed dramatically since I started. The addition of literally thousands of new and innovative products, the consolidation of suppliers and wholesalers, the consolidation of retailers, even the very definition of a retailer. Unlike other industries, we embrace all these changes. The United States is unlike any other marketplace. There are more choices for consumers than any other place in the world, and it's because of the wisdom of the 21st Amendment, and it's what brought us a 3-tier system. Look, companies can scale and get to marketplace sooner than any other part of the world. It's because we've built the best structure for our industry than any other. You and I both know that distribution of wine and spirits is not and should not be treated like soft drinks. Our detractors would like us to lower prices, make distribution easier, maybe even eliminate the wholesale tier, and let the internet take the wheel. But we know that our business is different for a good reason. It's a controlled product. A controlled product that was made illegal 100 years ago by a constitutional amendment. That solution was not right. The passing of the 21st Amendment in 1933 was the right solution. It recognized that the consumption of alcoholic beverages was not necessarily a bad thing, but because of the nature of the product and the potential for abuse, it must be highly regulated. The nature of the product demands that it is regulated from a licensed production system, through a licensed distribution system, to a licensed retailer who sells to a consumer who must be of legal age. If this sounds cumbersome, then you've not been reading all the latest international news. It's a constant stream of stories about counterfeit wines and spirits. Worse, homemade product that ends up poisoning, bluntly, blinding and killing the unknowing consumer. If you hadn't seen that piece, maybe you saw the United States State Department issue a warning for spring breakers who are traveling to Mexico. Let's face it, things are not the same in other parts of the world. Prior to the 21st Amendment, criminals ran the business, and they still do in countries that don't treat the product with respect. None of these things happen in America. It's because of the 21st Amendment and the three-tier system that works. It is one of the foundations of why the success of wine and spirits in America is the gold standard throughout the world. It's not the easiest path, but it's one that keeps the country safe. And that's really the foundation of who we are as an industry. In addition to all the important responsible business practices that the wholesalers perform, there's a charitable aspect of the wholesaler industry, the philanthropy. Millions of dollars are raised, countless dollars of wholesaler resources used, and thousands of personal hours are donated in and for the local communities by our members, families, and employees for all kinds of worthwhile causes. In most cases, we neither seek nor ask for recognition. All right. Today, though, I will recognize all of you by simply saying thank you and keep it up. There are stories of underage drinking in countries with lax and no regulatory laws. Of course, we also have this to contend with in the United States. But we in the industry recognize it and are addressing it. One example of this is the Foundation for Advancing Alcohol Responsibility, also known as responsibility.org. This endeavor leads the fight to eliminate drunk driving and underage drinking and promotes responsible decision-making regarding beverage alcohol. This effort was started and maintained by a coalition of distilled spirits companies. Recently, we, the WSWA, were asked for our participation in this great effort, and we agreed. Not just because it was the right thing to do, which it is because we still place great value on the people in the communities where we conduct our business. What makes this industry the very best is the level of energy we place on personal relationships between the tiers and the acknowledgement of the responsibility of the product we all represent. For the reason you are all here today at the WSWA, this is a business where networking and interaction opens opportunity, both for additional business and personal growth. All the data we see shows that the growth in the industry is in our favor. That is why I encourage you to keep focused, keep moving forward. Our industry will continue to face challenges. Our job is to determine which way the wind is blowing, use it to our advantage, moving with it, not against it. One exciting change that we've already made and is contributing to our success is the diversity of the industry. The industry is no longer the old boys club. I've seen tremendous and welcome change in all the tiers of our industry. And it's making us all better with what we do every day. A shining example is right here at WSWA through the recently formed Women's Leadership Council. The WLC, as it's called, is led this year by an impressive Flana Bouvier of Young's Mark Company. Flana is a great example of the strong women cultivating and mentoring women in our industry. I'm proud to say that our daughter, Megan, is part of this program and building future leaders. In closing, really, my story was probably not that much different from some of your fathers, grandfathers, and great-grandfathers. My story continues like theirs today, a great partnership with the Cooper family, the support of a loving wife, Elizabeth, and the addition of our 3 children who have earned degrees that secured their places as future leaders in our business. By the way, Not only did they make great choices in their degrees, computer science, business, finance, hospitality, human resource, and industrial relations. This is truly amazing considering I, El Jefe, have an awarded GED. They got to be taken after their mother. They then went into the workplace in their respective fields working for other companies before joining ours. It was always their decision to make to come back. I'm proud and glad they're all with me. They're helping us continue to build a brand that will be the Cooper-Ross family legacy for years to come. So maybe those college advisors were onto something. College might not be for everyone, but I believe this is an industry that has provided me with the best life education, and I'm glad I took their advice. I know that you're sitting here today because you're building your business. You're meeting with customers, and you're doing what we do every day. You and I can agree that this is an industry that provides great opportunity, great advancement for people of all backgrounds, and that through the great framework of the three-tier system, we will continue to be the best in the world. The Rolling Stones have always been my favorite band, and they've got it right. You can't always get what you want, but if you try some time, you just might find you get what you need.